played the lira. So you're going to have musical clues in this puzzle as well. One of the hardest parts to get around in understanding this puzzle is I think they call it normalcy bias. Someone has a moon mission normalcy bias that, oh no, this is the top of the heap. They would never lie about this. You have to get over that. Once you get over it, you just start laughing when you see the shit that's hidden in these moon missions. It's hilarious. And Kubrick was a master of the hidden narrative, and he uses famous allegorical stories. So if we go into Greek and Roman history, we have the Minotaur myth, and the Cyclops, and Icarus, and the Trojan horse. So what is the Trojan? Why is the Trojan horse? So we just went over the Cyclops is flat Earth. That's the one-eyed Jack. But we go from there to okay. So you have the Cyclops, and the Cyclops is Hal. Hal is a computer that has a twin, a bipolar twin. Will be bipolar twins hidden everywhere. If you have a bipolar twin, you have the Grady girls. Now, the Grady girls in the book were sisters. In the movie, they're twins. So he's giving you bipolar twins. If you look at the picture, one is smiling, one is happy, one is sad. Oh, in every picture, they're either flipping. One is happy, one is sad, and so it's interesting how he does it. So Hal has a twin on Earth, and his twin 9000 computer says that Hal made an error, and Hal insists he didn't make an error. So they're bipolar twins. They're hidden. There's always a hidden bipolar twin, and this is the reason that we're doing this is we're doing the North and South Pole. So ostensibly we've been told that the North and South Pole are a globe and blah blah blah, and when you really come to realize what's going on, you have a North Pole and a South Pole, and they're very different. They're bipolar twins. One encompasses a very vast circle that surrounds you with an ice wall, and the other is a little dot in the middle of the ocean. It's not even land on it. So the other thing you notice too is the differences in the weather. In the North Pole we have every kind of conceivable form of life exists, and the South Pole you have penguins. That's it. So no one can explain that. No one can explain why there's such a drastic temperature difference when there shouldn't be any at all. It should be the same thing. Getting off track. So where were we? We were on the Minotaur, the Matador, and the magic thread. So if we go to the myth of the Minotaur and Theseus and the magic thread, we find out that Daedalus is the man that gives Theseus the magic thread. So we already know Daedalus because we have the Icarus and the Icarus myth, where Daedalus is the father of Icarus, makes the wings, and he tells his son, "Don't fly too high, because the wax and feathers will melt." So Kubrick does his famous speech of the wax and feathers, and we see the correlation between Icarus crater on the moon, Icarus the magic, or Icarus and the wings that melt and he dies, and Daedalus, who was already in our puzzle because he's the man who makes the magic thread. So we're throughout Kubrick's puzzle, we're following these magic threads. Some of them in the 2001: A Space Odyssey are very overt, and some of them aren't. But once you find the Minotaur and Theseus and the magic thread and the Cyclops and the Trojan horse, it all makes sense. Now, why the Trojan horse? Well, a Trojan horse was indicated by the monolith. It's a high-tech Trojan horse. When man reaches the moon, this will be set off, and it'll trigger whatever event happens next. So why the Trojan horse? Well, the Trojan horse is this whole puzzle. The entire puzzle as a whole is a Trojan horse. It's a way of inserting crap in the original moon missions that can't be taken out. I mean, it's already been seen by billions of people. You can't change it now. So he really screwed them. He inserted this stuff, and it's very clever. And then he took the next 12 movies, or 10 movies, And he did the same thing. He just kept inserting different allegorical stories. Now, granted, they're Greek and Roman tragedies um, in 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it doesn't stop there. You can't limit your brain. Your brain can think of any allegorical story there is. So when you see hints to other stories or continuation of this um, Minotaur, Matador, Cyclops, you know, over and over, all these different Greek allegories, the Trojan horse. When you see The Shining, and you notice that Danny is in the maze, okay, well, Theseus is in the maze. Jack is the Minotaur, and you have the Minotaur and the maze and Theseus. It's just overwhelming when you realize that, oh wow, he's using the Minotaur Matador or Minotaur Theseus allegory. So this is how it's done. I know I've really done a crappy job of trying to explain this, but I don't know if I've made any difference in this explanation. But you're using allegorical stories that he's hinting to in his movies and applying them to the moon missions, which are loaded. And one of the things I wanted to mention is it's always based on what's missing. So when you look at the moon missions carefully, you come to realize that there's a lot of things that are missing. And one of the big ones is the crater underneath the LEM. It's missing. It doesn't appear at any of the landing sites. You have a 10,000-pound rocket, and it leaves no disturbance in the talcum powder surface. That makes no sense. So the crater is missing. So you put that up, you write that down, crater. Then you realize that there are no tracks from the rover. So you write that down. So now you have crater and tracks. So the crater is already been used already. You have Icarus crater on the moon. So there's one. Okay. Then you have all the alchemical crater names. You have Dome crater, and I've done videos on this. I could probably reference which ones they are. But so you have all these different craters that he's named, and he selects the Tycho magnetic anomaly and the Christopher Clavius base. These are the two men at the center of flat Earth. This is not an accident. This is a plan. I mean, he was a genius. So I don't know if I've made this first video any better or any worse, but for either way, at least I hope it will intrigue you to look further. And once again, you're always looking for a hidden theme. And that's it, guys. Have a good night.